#Disability Divest Plain Language Demand Letter. Disability Divest demands disability organizations end their relationships with people and companies who make money off war. We are a group of disabled people. We are working together to demand that disability rights organizations in the United States stop working with companies that support genocide. Some of us work with disability rights organizations in the United States. Some of us do not. Some people think that if someone works for a disability rights organization, that person's opinion is more important. We are working together because we do not believe that is true. July is Disability Pride Month. We want disabled people to know that disability justice and disability pride cannot happen if Palestine is not free and safe. Dr. Ghassan Abu Sita is a surgeon in Palestine. He has had to perform many amputations on children who have been hurt by Israel's weapons. Amputation means removing a limb, like an arm or a leg, that no longer works. Dr. Ghassan Abu Sita says that Palestine now has the biggest group ever of children who have gone through amputation. The United Nations Office for Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs thinks that more than 1 million people in Gaza will starve or die by the middle of July. 1 million people is more than half of the total number of people that live in Gaza. The United Nations Children's Fund, or UNICEF, says that Israel's attacks in Rafah, a part of Palestine where many people live now, stopped over 3,000 children from getting treatment for malnutrition. Malnutrition is when someone gets very sick because they are not able to eat. The children who can't get help for their malnutrition will most likely die soon. Israel has blocked medical supplies and assistive technology from getting into Gaza for 16 years. Not being able to get medical care has hurt disabled Palestinian people for a long time. Disabled Palestinian people are more likely to die now because they have not been able to get medical care for so long. Now, Israel has blocked even more kinds of supplies from getting into Gaza, like food, water, medication, and assistive devices. People with all kinds of disabilities may not be able to evacuate Gaza. This means they will most likely become more disabled or die. The Israeli Defense Forces, or the IDF, Israel's military, have bombed a lot of important buildings in Gaza on purpose. The IDF have bombed hospitals, schools, and roads. The bombs have destroyed Gaza's healthcare system and education system. Many people who lead disability organizations have chosen not to talk about Palestine. Many people in Palestine are becoming disabled because they are getting hurt and sick. Many people in Palestine are dying. Israel has been attacking Palestine since October. People who lead disability organizations must talk about the ways Israel is hurting Palestine. Some companies make money from people dying and getting hurt in Palestine. The names of some of those companies are Northrop Grumman, Booz Allen, Boeing, RTX/Raytheon, Lockheed Martin, General Motors, and Google. The companies make money from selling weapons and supplies to Israel. Then, Israel uses those weapons and supplies to kill and hurt Palestinians. The United Nations said that companies who make weapons need to stop selling weapons to Israel. If the companies do not stop selling weapons to Israel, the companies might get in trouble for breaking human rights laws. Some disability organizations in the US work with companies selling weapons and supplies to Israel. The companies selling weapons and supplies to Israel give money to some disability organizations in the US. One disability organization that gets money from companies that sell weapons and supplies to Israel is called Disability In. Disability In gives awards to some companies that sell weapons to Israel and calls them the, quote, best places to work for disabled people. The names of some of the companies that Disability In gave awards to are HP, Siemens, Barclays, Chevron, and Intel. It is wrong for Disability In to give awards to companies that make money from killing and hurting disabled people in Palestine and in other countries like Congo, Sudan, Tigray, and Haiti. These are other places where wars and genocides are happening. These wars are killing and disabling millions of people. They are also displacing millions of people. When someone is displaced, they are forced to leave their home because it isn't safe to stay there. Disability In has a program for disabled college students called Next Gen Leader Initiative. The Next Gen Leader Initiative pairs disabled college students with mentors from big companies. Some of the companies sell weapons and supplies to Israel. This means that Disability In is helping disabled college students in the US work with employees of companies that are killing and hurting disabled people in other countries like Palestine. Disability In and many other disability rights organizations in the US have relationships with the companies that are killing and hurting disabled people in other countries. This is wrong. It is not okay for disability rights organizations to say they are helping disabled people in the US while working with companies that hurt disabled people in other countries. July is Disability Pride Month. Disabled people should be fighting for the freedom of all disabled people in the world. We cannot let disability organizations make money from companies that help to kill Black, Brown, and Indigenous disabled people in Palestine, the Global South, and at home on Turtle Island. We do not support our government's actions. We support people living in Palestine. We have 3 demands. 1. We demand that disability organizations refuse donations and partnerships with companies that make money off of war. 2. We demand a ceasefire. A ceasefire means that Israel will stop shooting and bombing people in Palestine. Israel must also stop occupying Palestine. Occupying means that the Israeli military is staying in Palestine, even though Palestinians do not want the Israeli military to be there. 3. We demand that disability organizations stop giving disability inclusion awards to companies that make money off of war. It is not okay for disability organizations to give people the idea that disabled people are okay with companies killing and hurting people in Palestine just because those companies let disabled people work for them. We need to listen to disabled people in Palestine and the Global South. We need to let them lead. A better world is possible. Our experience as people with disabilities is connected to other people with disabilities around the world. Join us and sign our letter at disabilitydivest.org.